All right, let's do a Fillmore poster story today. I worked at the Warfield and the Fillmore in San Francisco all through the 90s, and I have lots of posters, ticket stubs, and stories to tell. And today I'm going to tell a story about Korn, October 9th, 1996, and how it led to one of my greatest thrills ever at the Fillmore that happened a month after the show. Anyway, so come with me on this journey. I want to keep it moving as best I can. So October 9th, 1996 was Korn's very first headlining show at the Fillmore. And I came to know them because they were opening acts for a lot of bands at the Fillmore and the Warfield for the last year or two. And every time they played as an opening act, their fans came out in force. Like you knew exactly who some of these kids were there. They were there for Korn. So this is kind of a big deal for Korn during their first show. And the opening acts were this one band called, let's see, it's a Delinquent Ideas. I don't remember them at all. The other band was this new up-and-comer, get out of the glare there, Limp Bizkit. It's kind of like a Woodstock 99 origin story here. Anyway, so the funny thing about this show was I was volunteering. What you do is you work the first opening acts when the headliner comes on. You get a couple drink tickets, turn in your badge, off you go, enjoy the show. I was hanging out front after the opening acts and just kind of waiting to be cut. And this van rolls up and these four dudes roll out of it, Jeff Spicoli style, and come running up, and they're gonna get stopped at the front door by the people working the door. I was just kind of hanging out, and they go, "Oh man, we don't have our passes, and we forgot to get those." And one person's like, "Well, points to the gate where you go check and get your passes." Like, "We gotta play in 10 minutes, man." And there's a poster. The whole vestibule of the Fillmore was decked out in like Korn posters and Korn shit, and it's like, "That's us right there on the poster." And so, like, "Oh really?" So the guys they went up and they stood by their picture one at a time, like, "See, that's me, that's me." And then they went in and let it out. I thought that was just fucking hilarious. So that's how Korn rolled into their first ever headlining show at the Fillmore. Now, why this Korn show led to one of my greatest thrills is that when you were volunteering at the Warfield or the Fillmore, they would open up the people to sign up to volunteer 1 month of the day before a show starts. So like if there was going to be a show on May 15th, on April 15th you could sign up. And for the Fillmore they didn't need a whole lot of people, but on November 9th, which was 1 month after the day here, Johnny Cash was playing at the Fillmore. And so everybody that was working the Fillmore that day was there so they could sign up to work the Johnny Cash show. Most of it, because there was regulars that would do this all the time. I was one of them that eventually led into me working there full, being a paid employee there. So even, I bet if there was a show on September 9th, many of us probably work that show so we could work this show to get on the Johnny Cash show. So once the show starts and all of us ushers go to turn in our badge and get our drink tickets, here come the regulars, we all sign up for the Johnny Cash show. So 1 month later, I'm working the Johnny Cash show, and same thing, hanging out front before the show starts, waiting for the show to start. I'm cut, get my drink tickets, off I go into the show. Hanging out front. Up comes walking up Geary Street, probably from the bus that was parked down the street, is Johnny Cash with a little entourage, and he walks up straight to me because I'm kind of hanging out front, and he walks up to me, he shakes my hand, "Hi, Johnny Cash," and proceeds to go to all the other people at the door, "Hi, I'm Johnny Cash." And I'm going to tell you, in 1996, Johnny Cash still had a grip on him, and that was just like, oh my God, what just happened here? Johnny Cash just walked up and introduced himself to everybody. Like, who's Johnny Cash? So to me, to this day, it was just one of the greatest thrills I ever had at the Fillmore that stemmed from working this Korn show. They make about 1,000 copies of these posters, and each one has its own individual story. This is my story from my Korn poster, and thank you for listening to it. Thanks.